Today, I want to talk about choice. Choice. Now, this is one of the most important words in your life, whether you think about it or not. If you're not thinking about it, well, that's a choice. Think about all the choices you're not making while you're not thinking about making choices. You're kind of on autopilot. Well, at some level, you're choosing to do that. But more to the point, a lot of times, you just hear this thrown out as if it is the way that things are done. For example, teenager goes out for the evening. What does the parent say? Make good choices. Great idea. You should make good choices. New Year's rolls around. I'm going to make a commitment. That's a choice. I'm going to make a commitment to lose 50 pounds or to begin to grow my business or begin to launch a business or improve my marriage or have a better relationship with family, extended family, whatever it is. And what we do a lot of times to the word choice and with the word choice is we equate it with the actual result that we're trying to effectuate. That's the word, make happen. So I'm going to lose weight. All right. I'm going to make the choice. And then that's my method. I'm going to choose to lose weight. So then you go through the days and you've said, I'm going to choose to lose weight. No, can't eat that. And there's a lot of choices that go into that choice as well. But for a lot of people, that's their choice. Making choices is the methodology, which I don't know if you read the newspaper this morning. I said that the other day. I said somebody, I said, what have you done this morning? I said, well, I just been reading the paper. And they laughed. They go, paper? Who reads a paper? Well, actually, I do. I get one delivered every morning. But the point is, I get it. Most of it, we're seeing on the screen, but you get the idea. But if you read the news today, I should say, then I don't know if you saw that headline, but willpower is not doing well. Willpower as a method, which is really choosing, I'm not going to do this and I'm going to do this, as a method of change or equal to change, it's failing miserably. A lot of people made a choice to this year do a bunch of resolutions. And guess what? That choice kind of dwindled out about last week for a big percentage. And it's dwindling as time goes on because that's what they did. They just made a choice. And that was all they did. So what I want to do is, choice is a very, very, very important concept. It sets directions in our lives. It actually has to do with a lot of results we end up doing in our lives. And in the moment, it actually is how we execute certain things. But you can't equate it with the result. Okay. For example, if you tell somebody, say you got kids and they're fighting, and you say, I want you to be nice to your sister. Now, right now, choose to be nice to your sister. Well, if you got a big enough, leverage over them and fear or consequences or whatever it is, then you might get a little compliance in the moment, but that's not going to last. Why? Because there are other choices that are going to end up causing the result of that choice. Here's an important phrase: being able to be made on a continuing basis. See, here's the problem. That what we call choice is related to self-control. And self-control, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, is it talks about the fruit of self-control. Self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. It is a result. The ability to make good choices is a result of other factors. You take an alcoholic, it's going to depend on willpower. Not going to drink so much. They keep drinking so much, keep drinking so much, keep drinking so much. And then what do they say? Basically, in step one of AA, the 12 steps, what do they go? I'm powerless. In other words, my chooser isn't working. It's broken. So what, am I hopeless? No, you're just powerless. There is hope. What do I have to do? I said that choice is not only a result of growth, being able to make good choices, but it's also a beginning of being able to have growth happen. So certainly you've got the goal and the standard of choosing whatever it is you want to be able to pull off. But you're not going to be able to just have that choice be the result. There are other choices that you can make that will bring about the result of your being able to make the choices you're not able to make yet. I want Joey to be nice to his sister. Well, there's going to be some other choices involved. How about, Joey, I want you to sit down with me and just talk to me about what's going on with you. You know, sometimes you end up being really mad or really frustrated. And so what we're going to have is we're going to choose to have a little sit down, get to know what's going on inside of here session. See, that's what, when an alcoholic or an addict, they choose to get sober, what they first do is they make a choice to get involved in the process that's going to build that result. If somebody's going to choose to be in shape, what they do is they make choices, little choices that are going to end up in the result you're looking for. They choose to find a trainer. They get a buddy that shows up to go on a 45-minute walk at lunch every day or every other day, or 3 different people on different days. They choose to maybe get an app and start logging their food intake. They choose to start talking out their emotions so they're not doing emotional eating. They choose to go to the doctor to find out if there's any physiological stuff going on there. So what I'm talking about here basically is the choice to begin to make the choices that are going to empower you to be able to make the choices that you want. You know, if you're in a marriage, for instance, and you say to husband, you got to start being nicer to your wife. Well, that's great till he gets in that first argument, and all of a sudden the rage starts to come up or the fear starts to come up. They start to get defensive and this, that, and the other. Well, if he's not making choices, maybe to go talk to a counselor and learn more about what's happening inside of him and learn some skills to emotionally regulate and learn to be empathic and learn to sit and have somebody be empathic with him so he can internalize it to begin with, and a bunch of other stuff, that choice is we're going to revert. We're going to revert. That's why, back to 12 steps, that's why after making all these choices, that all have to do with powerlessness and inabilities. What's the last step? Going to go help somebody else. Well, I'm not ready to help somebody else until I've first gone through that process. But the last thing they tend to say a lot of times, most times at every meeting is they hold hands and they say, until the next meeting, make good choices. No, that's not what they say. They say, keep coming back. It works. So if you want to choose a goal or choose a result, then I want you to unpack what are the choices I need to make that are going to be able to empower me and change me and grow me into the person that can have that fruit in my life. You know, God told us in the very beginning, be fruitful and subdue the earth. Well, if a farmer is going to be fruitful, that's more than just having kids. I think they knew how to do that. It's if a farmer is going to be fruitful, if you're going to grow wheat, you can't choose to have a wheat grow or a stalk or whatever it is. No, you got to choose to till the soil. You got to choose to put some seeds in there. You got to choose to fertilize it. You got to choose to water it. So when you're making a choice and you think, I'm going to choose to do this, ask yourself the question, what's going to enable me to do that? And what's going to be in the way and keep me from doing that? And what am I going to choose to immunize myself against the obstacles, et cetera, et cetera? It involves choices about our thinking. It involves choices about our emotions. It involves choices about who we hang around with. It involves choices about our schedule. It involves choices about managing triggers. There's a lot of stuff that goes into getting better.